The outpouring of tributes from home and abroad continues after the death of Britain's only female Prime Minister. But amid those mourning Margaret Thatcher, many critics are venting their anger over her controversial decisions. North Korea willing to hurt its own economy in its latest attempt to threaten its southern neighbour. Pyongyang has halted work at the Kaesong Industrial Complex, one of the last major joint North-South projects. And hoping to fight mistrust for Middle East peace, US Secretary of State John Kerry meets the Israeli leaders in a bid for renewed peace talks with Palestinians, while pledging support to Israel against Iran. You're watching live from Paris with me, Karen Creed. Thanks for tuning in. Well, coming up in the French papers a little later, we'll be looking at what's dominating most of the headlines this Tuesday, the reaction to Margaret Thatcher's death. While in today's focus, we get an insight into the risks from nuclear waste that's been dumped in Germany's Lower Saxony region and find out what measures authorities are taking. But first, to the death of the iconic woman known as the Iron Lady, who ruled Britain for 11 years, the only female to ever hold the country's top job. Well, Margaret Thatcher died on Monday, aged 87, after suffering a stroke at the Ritz Hotel in London. We're joined now in studio by Sophie Luswarn, a lecturer at the Sorbonne and specialist in UK economics and politics.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning to you. Sophie, a woman who divided a nation, that's obvious, polarised reaction, but no one can really deny that she did transform the country.
Yes.
Now, in terms of just the political reaction, because obviously right across the spectrum from Labour to Conservative, they've been paying tributes, they've been drafting careful statements right across. Is this something where it's misplaced to speak ill of the dead, or should it be allowed when she's such a public figure? Well, now, we mentioned just the politicians being careful in their statements, but certainly the public haven't been. I'm not sure if you've seen some of the streets of London, Brixton in particular, and Trafalgar Square, where thousands have actually been, or hundreds more rather, have been celebrating her death. Just in terms of that reaction, that will show that her economic policies and political ones didn't go down a treat with too many of the working class especially. Well, we're joined now by our international affairs editor, Catherine Norris-Trent in London. Now, Catherine, Thatcher was obviously known as a controversial figure, not just at home but abroad, and especially the stance that she took with certain countries and also the support she showed for certain leaders. That wasn't something that boosted her popularity, really. Catherine Norris-Trent, thank you for that update and the polarised reaction that's obvious there in London. Well, moving to other news, North Korea is sticking by its stance of halting work at the Kaesong Industrial Complex, infuriating its southern neighbour. For more on this, we're joined by our correspondent in Germany, Jessica Salz. Jessica, we've heard there that German authorities have passed a law allowing for this nuclear waste to be taken out of the mines, but some experts then are saying it's safer to leave it there than to extract it. So is there any safe solution? Now, we saw in that report some of the residents very angered and campaigning, an understandable reaction, really. Welcome back. It's now time for the French Press Review, and for that we're joined in studio by Florence Villeminot. Florence, it's no surprise that most of the papers in France are also covering Margaret Thatcher's death and the reaction to it, really, is it?
That's right. Well, let's start by looking at Aujourd'hui en France, which I think sums up quite well what a lot of the media is talking about today.
Now, Matthew, I've never tried to make contact with a celebrity on Facebook, but you're going to tell me that if I want to, I'm going to have to pay for it.
That's right. Well, it's possible. There are lots of celebrities, of course, on Facebook, and at the moment you can just email them. No guarantee that they'll ever reply. But Facebook is trialling this scheme in the UK and 35 other countries, actually, where you have to pay for certain celebrities. Now, it all seems to depend on how popular they are. There you see Tom Daley, the diver, €12. 50 it'll cost. Salman Rushdie, the writer, €11.80. Some people
so it
even more expensive.
So it depends on how popular they are.
Well, look at this one. Karen Creed, apparently.
Oh my God, I wouldn't even want to guess. I wouldn't even want to guess the price.
That's costing. Now,
annual subscription as well.
I'm free of charge, of course. Now,